9, 10. And back down again to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. Any observations on that? What did we think when we started to adjust the exaggeration?
I didn't like it.
Didn't like it exaggerated?
Because if you're mimicking people, how can you increase the intensity unless somebody starts doing, so people started trying to lead things, people started trying to throw things in to make it bigger, and it became less real and it became less unified. It was much more interesting when it was minute because there was much more unity.
Yeah, and it's like a motivation and a commitment as well. It's where as soon as you get really like pinpricked into an action, be it standing, those statues are brilliant. Obviously we found musical statues a lot more difficult when we were children. When you were playing Grandmother's Footsteps and started to focus on being really, really stealthy, that was really, really like, you just, I don't know what it is, but it works. Any other observations?
There's some nice, I didn't see it as much when I came out, but I noticed it more when I started before. You get this kind of feedback thing where if you're following somebody's actions, then if they're the adjacent person, you're copying them, then they follow you, but you're following them, you're following their actions, so it doesn't, this particular movement just kind of carries on if you're attentive to the next person.
Yeah, and something banal becomes something else, something minute.
It made me feel quite self-conscious actually, because I was, like, they'd do this and then you were doing it, and I was just like, right, okay, well, no, I'm doing it again now.
I noticed that when we were in a circle, I noticed that kind of stillness to my mind, which is achieved by focusing, and that was quite overwhelming at the moment. I really like it.
Okay, let's just try, I just quite like you to try this with Stephen staying in to make it even. Have you?
Yeah, I found that sort of the circular movement works a little better than this, but I found like one person's doing something on this side, one person's doing something on that, and I'm trying to do a halfway house between the two, and then therefore it looks like I'm trying to change the movement or something.
Usually it's really hard to follow one thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see,
I block one out.
I like the perfection of the very focused, like when you're really, really still. It's beautiful, but I also really like it when it goes wrong. And I really like it, like there was some really good, like, it was like a bit like a Mexican wave, but kind of not really. And when it's at the very low level, there's this, you know, I keep on talking about this commitment, lack of commitment. I keep getting that, and it's not, it's. I also find that very beautiful. So there's both ends of the spectrum. There's when it works really, really well, but also when it spectacularly fails is also really interesting to me. So if you wanted to build that in to your work tomorrow, I'd be very interested to see the failures. For example, the bit earlier on when we had the Benny Hill music, and the music automatically stops, but it's not actually a deliberate stop. When you were like, oh, we stopped, and then we started again, I'd love to see a sequence of those. I'd absolutely love it. It's really, I don't know, something about it that I like, that I think resonates with the theme.
It's kind of honest in the way.
Yeah. So that was good. Okay, let's swap with Stephen staying in, just to have a look, so you get the opportunity to experience it, and then we'll bring in another dynamic. You might need to squish quite close to each other. You see, even that is really watchable, the fact that you've all worked so hard to... Nice. Going very nicely. Let's take it up to 2. Three. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, now's an extra challenge. I'd quite like you to do this, make it the best you possibly can, making eye contact with the audience. So you're really going to have to trust your peripheral vision, and we'll see how far we can go with this. Good.
It's 12.
12, okay. That was really good. You did well there. It was interesting, you all like flipped sideways. So I don't know if it was to help with the fact that we'd taken your peripheral vision away from you by asking you to look outwards, but you still managed to do it. What did you make as watchers?
I quite liked it both ways. So when you were just looking at each other and those sly looks between you, they were really funny. And then when you started looking out, it kind of became a bit creepy. Especially like towards the end when you were in that line, it was a bit sinister. I enjoyed it.
There was less smiles when you were looking at us. I mean, because you had to concentrate more, so you were maybe a bit less thinking about what you were doing.
It's very different watching it at one. Everyone was kind of turned in, and then you started to notice that faces came out as you went up to 10.
I prefer it when it's not 1 to 10 as well. I think it's quite nice when you just are just concentrating without that. But you're right about the mistakes noticing somebody, oh shit, they're doing that.
I would say I don't find the scales useful because I think I kind of find myself wanting to instigate something to make it bigger.
Yeah, it does make you sort of exaggerate things.
I can see where you're coming from, but like when we hold it at 5, for example, that puts a new dynamic into it, and I feel like on both instances, when we've held it at 5, it's brought like a suspense to it somehow. But I know what you mean. I think especially in this exaggerate it more kind of thing, that it does start to, and also things like people going up as we went up to 10, or going down as we went up to 10, things like that were naturally occurring. And I do think this is most effective when we're doing as little as possible. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting when you cheat too. I really liked the part where you were transitioning from kind of having the peripheral and then facing it outwards. There was a phase where you kind of acclimatized, especially Steve, when you were doing a lot of like, look, oh God, look. It was really, really watchable. So that was really nice to watch because we'd asked you to do something and you weren't quite able to do it. So we were enjoying you getting to grips with that challenge. Yeah, it was good. You see, this is a movement quality I'm really interested in. We've kind of stumbled upon it by accident, but in a good way. So I'm really curious to see if you can recreate this kind of movement energy without being next to each other and near each other. So you wouldn't actually be able, this is just purely an experiment to see if it's possible. But that kind of movement energy, that kind of movement, that kind of focus without having anyone else to look at. Or let's try it and see if you may, because what you may have done during this workshop exercise is create a kind of physical vocabulary that you can now draw from. You may not have done, but it would be really nice to see if we can draw from that exercise and have you kind of all perform your own version of some of those movements that we've just worked through. Can we just try everyone in space? It may not work, but let's just try it and see. No. Let's see if you can do it without copying anyone. Let's see if it works. It might not work, but it would be good to see if it's possible to sort of use this as one of our colours on our palette of movement. Okay, let's all have you facing the audience. Can you speed it up?